All right. This video is a story. It's called Peter in a Lab Coat. Now, there's this thing called the Peter Principle. People will get promoted up to a level where they're incompetent. So if they weren't promoted one level too high, they would still be useful for the company. But they get promoted one more level, and now they don't know what they're doing. And it's called the Peter Principle. But I basically refer to people as a Peter. It's a person that goes to college and doesn't like it, and they drop out and they end up in some other field, and somehow they get hired. And we had one of these guys, and for whatever reason, our personnel hired the guy. He had a few months of college, and he started working, and he came in a lab coat with the tie, with the protector, the pen protector, something protector, goes in the pocket protector. You had the pocket protector with maybe there was a little ruler in there and some pens, and that's usually, and he's got the tie. That's usually a guy that comes from out in the field. We used to say he's from another district. He's some type of software supervisor, and he's coming out and he's helping you do modifications or a new system. He's helping you integrate the software with the unit as testing. So I look over and there's this guy. He's in a lab coat, and every time the bosses come by from getting their coffee, he's walking with them, and he's up in the front hanging with them. And I didn't pay really any attention to it. So one day I said, "Who, what's he teaching us?" He goes, "Teaching us." He's a T4. And I was a T8 waiting to be a T9 at the time. I go, "You got to be kidding me." I said, "He's with the bosses." He says, "Oh, yeah." And they didn't want to get involved. And I did talk to him once. And he talked down to me. And I'm like, "Well, he's a system guy in the field and he's got an ego." But he wasn't. He was just under us. He didn't even have any tech. He had no experience, no training. But somehow the personnel, someone over there, in, basically hired him. And he was supposed to be training in this one area, but what he was doing, he was just, whenever a boss would go by, he'd be up the guy's ass. So I'm like, holy mackerel. So anyway, one of the secretaries in the front office bought a new, be a cassette player back in those days. And she had a new car. They took the old radio out, and this radio just fit right in. So the two bosses are out there, and they're playing make believe with the tools, and they put it in. They get it working because you always had to do is the plug. It was just plug and play. But what they did wrong was there used to be this stud on the back of the radio, and they gave you this flexible steel with holes in it, and you would mount it on there and tighten it down, and then you'd bend that metal into like a bracket and fasten it somewhere under the dash. And that keeps the radio from vibrating when you're driving. So the girl goes home, and on the way home, the radio starts flapping. So she comes in the next day, and the bosses are there with her, and she's telling her, and this guy in the lab coat, Peter in the lab coat, he's right there with them. So they go out, and now they know they threw out the piece of metal that they're supposed to bend, and so they need the bracket. So the one boss was fairly sharp. So he goes out and he measures stuff, and he goes to one guy, and one guy makes the metal, and he bends it, and then they go back out with the piece of metal, and they mark where they need two holes drilled. And the whole time, Peter in the lab coat is standing there, just yesing everybody. That's what you do. You don't know anything. You just with the boss, and that's what he was doing. They hand him the bracket. They show him where they want the holes drilled, and they hand him a set of brand new drills or drill bits. And he comes back, and he's right across from me, about 6 feet behind the divider. I could see him. And they have a Sears hand drill set up in one of those units. You can put the hand drill in the unit, it becomes a drill press. And it's in there. And he puts a drill in the drill press, and now he's drilling. And he's pressing down. He's starting to sweat. He doesn't know what he's doing. I bet he's never drilled anything in his life. So he's trying to drill, and he's sweating, and I'm watching him. Then at some point, he changes the drill pit again, and then again. And then all of a sudden, he's got a rag around the handle. The handle for the drill press to pull it down has a ball on the end. He's got a rag wrapped around that. He's pulling down on it. And I said to myself, man, that piece of metal he's drilling must be tempered, right? That's what you think. So anyway, I'm watching, and then all of a sudden when he shuts it off, the drill looked like it was spinning the wrong way. That's what I got curious about. I immediately figured the piece of metal he's trying to drill is tempered. But when I see the drill bit spinning the wrong way, in my mind I'm saying it's the fluorescent lights are strobing the drill bit, and it makes it look like it's going backwards. So I walk around and I just said, "Excuse me 1 second." I pulled a button on the drill, and it's got variable speed on the drill button. And I'm like, "What the hell is this?" And I turn it, and you can lock it into one speed. Well, anyway, it's a Sears Craftsman. It was like the top of the line, and this guy's pulling down on it. And I'm looking at the bracket that he's supposed to be drilled. It's all mushy, and I took a screwdriver and I scrapped it across it, and it left a mark. I said, "This isn't tempered. What the hell's going on?" And I come over and I said, "Let me one more time." I squeezed the drill, and it's spinning the wrong way. Then I check the drill bit to make sure it's a right-hand drill. And then I look at the side, and there's a lever on the side of the drill press. Just at that moment, the two other bosses, they're right next to me watching the whole thing. And I'm like, I could feel their heat in their body. And I said to the guy, I said, I think this is a reversing drill. I said, I never had one. So I flipped the lever up and I squeezed the drill. And or the hand drill, and it spins the other way. And I'm like, now the bosses are there. They want these holes drilled. They want to put it in the car, and they want to be done with it. But I'm standing there going, holy shit, this drill reverses. So anyway, I give it back to the guy, and then he pulls it down and he drills. But what he did do is he changed the drill several times, and he was spinning it the wrong way. And the one boss is standing there looking at his package of drill bits that have all been spun the wrong way. And I just went back to my position, and I'm working. And someone made a couple comments, and I'm like, I said, I didn't want to show the guy up. I just thought I saw the drill spinning the wrong way. I wanted to see why. That's all. I didn't. You showed him up. You made him look like an idiot. Yeah, my fault again. But that's the first time I've ever seen a reversing drill, and one with a speed control on. I didn't have that kind of equipment. I had now I got to think of the stupid, like a Black & Decker. I had a Black & Decker single speed. The big thing with my father was you got to get there was 1/4 bit, 1/4 chuck, and you wanted to get the 3/8 chuck on the Black & Decker hand drill. And I believe it was 1995. It was free trade. Remember the free trade thing? But anyway, I never saw a Sears Craftsman hand drill. Nobody in my family could ever afford something like that. You know, speed control, reversing, and this is 1977 at the time, and that was new. That was all new crap coming out before the battery packs. And I'm sitting there going, I got to get me one of those. I never did. I end up using my hand drill, my Black & Decker 3/8 chuck, till it died. I put the roto stripper on it and did the base of the house. I had two Black & Deckers. One I got from the bank from rolling a CD over, and I put a roto stripper on it. I don't know if you've ever seen the commercial, and it's got this big like wheel on it with carbide fingers that come out, and it really works good. And I roto stripped my entire base of my house. My base of my old house was they put on the cement. You know, it's a cinder block, and then they smoothed on, I won't say stucco, but cement. And over the years, it just needs to be wire wheeled, and some places patched. And but the drill bits would get hot. The drill would get hot, the hand drill, and I put it down on the ground, and then grab the other one. And by the time I got around the house, all of them needed oil, and I'm like, screw it. I went and bought a new hand drill, a battery operated one. Well, anyway, but it was so funny. This guy disappeared like right after that, and someone said, he didn't stay here long. I said, he wasn't getting to where he wanted to be. He was dressing for success. They started calling that. See, we would show up we basically show up in clothes that we didn't care if we got oil on it. And this guy was coming in with a lab coat and the pocket protector and the pens, and I really thought he was from out in the field. And he was with the bosses all the time. And then they gave him something simple to do, and he couldn't do it. And I'm just like, I'm telling you honestly, I just looked over and I'm like, that drill bit looks like it's spinning the wrong way. It must be the strobe of the fluorescent lights. I got to check this out. I had to walk over there, and he's got it spinning the wrong way. You see the bracket, and the bosses threw out in the styrofoam in the back slot is a piece of it. It looks like it's metal. It's got a bunch of holes in it. It looks like it's for pipe in the cellar. They also use that to pipe band or whatever you want to call it, and that's what that's for. It goes to there's a back bolt on some of these stereos, and you have the nuts. You tighten it down on this bracket, and then you bend the bracket, and you hook it somewhere under the dash. You bolt it to the frame, and it's not for a ground. It is a ground, but it keeps the back end of the music player or cassette player or 8-track player from flopping as you're going over bumps and stuff. And they threw that out after they got it in. Everybody gathers up the packing and then they throw it out. And right in that slot, it might be even a ground wire in there. There's a couple little things in there to help you out. And they threw it out. And then the one boss will just make a bracket. This guy's standing there. They go back there. There's a drill press there. And he gives them the drill bits, which he ruined on the guy. But I can tell you the guy's name, but I won't. But it was funny. And everyone's like, you showed him up. I said, all I did was show him he's got the drill spinning the wrong way. I was like, man, there's a drill. All you do is throw the lever and it goes the opposite way. And they're like, you really made him look stupid. I'm like, no, I didn't make him stupid. He was stupid. I just wanted to see that drill thing. And the guy that was sitting near there was one of the top techs. He wasn't in. He was on vacation. And he would have helped that guy out like right away. But I just want to tell you, they're out there. Right? And they make comments. See, in their mind, they have these big egos. And you show them something simple, and you're showing it for the guy that don't know. And their ego has to speak up and like, oh, you're using the wrong pliers, or blah, blah, blah. And like I said, the real cool guys are like, yeah, I've been using that trick for years. Just get the next size shrink tubing. Well, I have the right size. It's just a little too tight to get it all on there. The next size is way too big, and it's not going to look good on the wires on the back. I knew exactly what I was doing, and as I'm doing it, I said, let me show other people. That was my mistake, okay? And I've been thinking about phasing out, not doing as many videos, but it's always the video that gets the most views that these guys show up. They want to be someone, and I click on their name, and they have no videos. They don't have any videos. They're all smoke and mirrors. They go through life not really getting into it. I get into stuff. I tell you, I get into it. You go look at some of those videos where I stayed on a radio that should have been in the garbage. But I stay with it because I should know what's wrong with that radio. I should be able to fix it. Yeah, a radio that they put the wrong parts in it when they made it. It's been moved around between a bunch of people. And then finally, guess who gets it? Me. And I'm going through it going, these voltages look good, but I better check this one section. And all of a sudden, the thing that led me to it was I increased the voltage on the radio, and it got more sensitive. I'm like, not really, with the regulation. Anyway, I went looking at this one section. They had the wrong resistors in the radio since the day it was made. I changed those. The sensitivity came right up. The radio was and I really didn't want the radio. I really didn't like it. I was really kind of mad at it at that point. And it was very heavy. But that's how I am. I really get into stuff. And along the way, I show people what I'm working on. And they don't get that. They think I'm monetized, I'm making money. And no, I wouldn't work this hard if I was monetized. I do some of the videos where the guy sits in the chair with his bow tie, giving you the specs that he got from Wikipedia. I don't do that. I show you the inside of the radio. And of course, well, I don't like your resolution of your camera. So I've been telling you for a while now, I'm looking for a new hobby. And that's where I'm headed. I want to get in a hobby where when I'm doing it, it's only me. It's what do I want, and not put up with other people making their comments when I know they're not building anything. Come on, how many people in the world are really into electronics like me? I know. I don't bump into them. I work in a giant company, and I showed them how to build a decoder to get free movies. Simple thing. And 5 people build it. You got 50 technicians, and the rest of them get someone else to make it for them. Well, I'm too busy. It's all bullshit. All right? There are people out there that have these giant egos. They try to build something. The one guy, I'm going to wait for the kit. All right? He gets the kit. He puts all the parts in backwards. He gives it to this other guy, Eddie. Eddie comes over and he says, he's got every part in backwards. I said, yeah, the guy needs ice. He needs glasses, and he refuses to get them. He goes, he's got all. I said, Ed, the guy's a moron to start with. He can't see. He went through life like that. He's still alive. He's still going through life like that. I won't tell you those stories about him. But in other words, I've seen these people up close. But, you got 50 technicians, and 5 guys build the decoder right away. And then little by little, this guy, Eddie, bought the kits for them and then helped them put them together and put them in the television sets. And the bosses, too. The boss is supposed to know what I know, but they don't. And, I bring the plans in. 4 other guys build it. Guys were coming from other companies at lunchtime into our place. They were friends of a friend of a friend. And we would set the TV up real quick and get the TV station. It was WHT out of West Orange. And I had it in my TV set. All you had to do is go to that channel and click the tuner to that frequency. And it was automatic. It would just come on. It was cool. And I helped other people do the same thing. And then, of course, that company went out of business. But I was the decoder guy. I figured out every system they had at the time. And then at some point, I'm looking at the movies going, this movie sucks. And I can tell you what it was at the time. It was Woody Allen Zelig, something like that. I'm watching this thing, and I'm watching for free. I go, this sucks. This isn't funny. I don't know what the hell and people said, that's a really good movie. I didn't think it was really that good. I'm sorry. But anyway, in other words, that's when I started saying, I'm not into decoders. And then I was doing the WrestleMania for people. They wanted that. And they're like, there's no way you could figure that out. You have to have a special box. You should see, I'm sitting at work, and they're telling me, you don't know how it works. You got to go down to the cable company and get this special box. Oh, yeah, it's a decoder box. No, it's a special box. And I already had hooked up my television set. Oh, and the special box, when there was a data wire went up to my bedroom, and I could read the data coming by and see the 2 numbers. It was actually 3 numbers, 3 letters, 3 numbers, and it was tri-mode. And if you didn't have the box, you would see that the picture would be scrambled, the sound would be there, and then it changed brightness 3 different levels. And that was each time that one of these numbers would hit the box and switch it. I had built the box. I built a dual mode or whatever it was, and made it into a tri-mode. Yeah, I was into it, and I was building it just to break the system. And then I did the Zenith system. I took the there was an EEPROM in there. It was epoxied in there, and I wiggled it back and forth, and out came the EEPROM, and it was a special EEPROM, and turned it over, and I could only get to the pins. The rest of it was all epoxy. And I went in and went through all the data books in the TechOps, in TechOps, and I found that stupid little programmable EEPROM. It would be electrical. Well, anyway, it's a PROM, and you program it. And what the PROM was, is it was programmed with the serial number of the box in binary. So I had to convert the long serial number of the box into binary, and then burn it to a regular EEPROM, 1602, 78. Anyway, burned it in, made a special socket, put it in, and we got it working. And so I've done all these different things. Every week, I'm in one of these projects. And then the people that make comments to me, most of them, they're just hot air. They're at parties. They have all the buzzwords. They don't actually do the project. And then what gets them mad at me is, when I used to have to put up with them, is they get their big fingers in something, and then the person brings it to me to really fix it. And then they're mad at me because I showed them up. And I'm sorry about that, but somebody asked me, "Can you fix this?" And I have to fix what you did to it first. Then I get to fix what was really wrong with it. Oh, boy. This one guy, the girl wanted her car jumpered out in the parking lot, and she knew me, but she was embarrassed in such a way. She asked this other guy to jumper the car, and the guy, he did a lot of drugs. He jumpered the car backwards, and he kept doing it, and there's sparks flying and everything. And then finally, I had to show him up. I walked over there and I said, the negative's a negative, positive, positive. No, this is serious. I'm like, negative to negative, positive to positive. And I had a feature back then. I would always hook the negative between bumpers at the end. I would put the positives on and do my jump at the bumper. So the spark would be away from the battery, so I wouldn't explode any gases coming out of it. Anyway, I never had any problem. I always jumped people's cars. But this guy, he did so many drugs. He was, and then after he's done, I got the car running, and he's like, I think I do remember negative to negative and positive. I'm like, oh my god, but you know these guys. If you work in a company, you have like really sharp guys, and then you have everybody else, and they don't want to be in that job. They want to be making more money doing something they don't know how to do. I think that's it. All right, that's it. This has been Peter in the Lab Coat.